guys, what is up? What is good? I'm here to do my double review of Visual Prison episodes 9 and 10, and we are almost done. 2 more episodes, meaning 2 more reviews, and it's complete for fall 2021. And I'm pretty sad to see it go. It's like I said it before, this show is right up my alley of type of shows that I personally like to watch, and I hope you guys also enjoyed watching Visual Prison. And of course, there's going to be more anime like it coming out in the future, but I don't know when. One thing I do want to say, I'm still contemplating on how I should do the video for Friday, because that's when the last episode is airing. I don't know if I should do a live reaction or just do a typical final review. For anybody that's new, any show I do, I usually just do a final review, ask you guys like, hey, how you felt about this entire show, what things that you liked, things you didn't like, things that they could have done better, what other story elements, all of that jazz, all of that. If you're new, you'll see, but if you're not new, you know, same thing that has happened on this channel before. So I'm still contemplating. You guys can leave a comment on whether you want a live reaction, of course a pre-recorded one, but a live reaction, or if you just want typical reviews like I've been doing since episode 1. So after this, I'm gonna also do my Miracle-chan live reaction, and that'll be it. Yeah, that'll be it. And then we just have to wait a week and a half for the shows that I am reviewing for winter 2022. So other than that, leave a like, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell so you guys are notified when new videos are being uploaded. We're trying to get to that juicy 1K, juicy 1K by 2022. And other than that, let's get to the review. So in episode 9 and 10, really, we got to know more about Ange, at least in terms of his past. They clarified on his identity as a damn fair. So everything you would have thought about Ange in terms of like who his parents are, depending on what you were thinking, you may or may not be right. Because this whole time, I thought, you know, his dad was a vampire. Come to find out in episode 9, no. Because what happened is it continues off with them being at the resort after the whole mess with Carmilla and, you know, playing her tricks in her game. She left Ange with this note saying, are you really sure that your vampire parent is really dead? And that left us all like, okay, you know, supernatural parents abandoning their kids, it's nothing new, right? But he decides later in that day to go visit his hometown that he grew up in. While he was going there, he ended up meeting Eclipse, and they decided to follow him. So he's telling them about, you know, him being with Oz, him finding out about his past, his parents, because he is going back to his old hometown to celebrate Obon. And on the first day of Obon is Shidon, if I remember correctly. It's the day that you bless the deceased. So he's going there because based on the timeline of the story currently, before he went to Harajuku, prior to episode 1, he was still living with his grandmother. So his grandmother obviously passed prior to episode 1. So he's going there to just like, you know, pray over his grandmother and everything, thank her for raising him all his life and that type of jazz. So while they're going there and they reach his old home, they start to clean up the place so it can be ready for Obon, ready for Shidon. So while he's there and they're helping him, of course, and you know, they have little fun moments talking with each other. And like I said in the last video, I like that outside when they challenge each other during Visual Prison, it's neutral territory. So there's no bad blood, no pun intended, no bad blood amongst any of the vampires. Like, yes, there are some differences amongst them, there is some animosity amongst them, but they don't actually go out to antagonize each other. So we have where Eclipse, Dimitri, and Hyde are helping him during Shidon. While he's in his house, we had a moment where there was a flashback where his grandmother was on her deathbed and she was about to reveal to him who his parents are. But Ange didn't want to hear it. He wasn't interested in it. And then it moves now back to what's happening, where Ange decided to go into the drawer that his grandmother was pointing to. In that drawer, all the documents fell out, and then you see pictures with Guil, with Utica. Remember, Utica was Guil's friend that was introduced back in episode 6. Because when we were finding out about Guil's past, when he decided to basically break up Eclipse, he decided to walk away, and that's when he met Utica, got back his love for music and that sort of thing. Come to find out, in that picture, that woman that was with Utica, at first I thought it was his sister. Comes to find out that is his wife. At the same time, we had where Guil, Eve, and Robin went back home, and then we're shown where Guil's wound that he has is getting worse by the minute. Come to find out, that wound was inflicted by the Scarlet Moon because he broke at least a few rules, and they said, nah, this is your punishment. Okay, so we come to find out at least 2 things from this episode in order for you to be punished by the Scarlet Moon. Now let me get my mind right, get it coordinated. So one of them is, we come to find out it's hard to change a woman into a vampire. And I guess in a way it's kind of taboo. You can't do it. So they can't be changed and you're not supposed to do it, right? Guil broke that rule. Second is, if you lose your feelings as a vampire, if you lose your feelings towards music, you are punished. Guil broke that second rule because he did end up losing his love and everything, his feelings towards music. You're supposed to be passionate towards it, right? He broke that. Hence why he is wounded. Hence why he has the wounds on his hands and the big wound on his back. So when they remember that flashback where Utica and his wife got hit by a car and died that day, his wife, whose name is Kotami, was pregnant, right? And then you're wondering, how is this all correlating to Ange? And I understand with Guil. Come to find out, Ange's parents, both Utica and Kotami, were both human. And then you're like, hold on. If they're both human, how is Ange half vampire? That don't make no sense. There's no way 2 humans can't make a half vampire, right? So on the day of the car crash, while they're laying there bleeding out, they're dying, they're slowly dying, right? Guil was going to make the attempt to save Utica by turning him into a vampire. Remember, you can't turn a woman into a vampire. It goes against Scarlet Moon's rules and regulations, right? Utica's like, no, I want to be together with my wife. I want to be connected with her when I pass away. Mind you, she's pregnant, and I don't think at that time the baby was dead as well. So then Guil decided, nah, I'm going to save my friends. Even if it's not them that's being saved, that child does not deserve, that unborn child, which is Ange, does not deserve to die. What he does is he injects his blood in Kotami's neck, causing Ange to turn into a damn fair. So, therefore, Guil is Ange's vampire parent. And the thing was, if Carmilla never said anything, not a thing, back in episode 8, Guil would have never mentioned anything to him. He would have kept it with him, kept it to his grave. Because he was slowly dying. He was slowly deteriorating because the more he was being punished by the Scarlet Moon, the more his body was breaking apart. And not only that, they took away his powers. So his body couldn't fight back. It couldn't self-heal. It couldn't do none of that stuff because he broke 2 rules, right? And those are probably one of the biggest rules. We don't really know all the rules. Well, we did. No, wrong. If you're not a parent or probably a really strong vampire, what happened to Jack when he kind of got a crack in his heart, he wasn't supposed to change his brother. So that's also one of the rules. I guess when you're changed by someone else who was originally a vampire or was granted to become a vampire by Scarlet Moon's wishes or permission, that's fine. But if you weren't granted that permission by Scarlet Moon to become a vampire, and you change someone outside of their laws, their rules, you are punished. So that's why you don't see Jack really severely hurt. But Guil decided to break at least 2 of its rules, you know? So unfortunately, Jack is dying. I mean, not Jack, Guil is dying, right? So we have it by the end of episode 9, Guil decides to show Ange his memories. So he bit Ange in the neck and showed him all the memories and showed him like how he was friends with his parents and everything, how they meant everything. They're the reason, especially Utica, that brought back his love for music, okay? And then after that, because he did whatever he did and he was being punished by the Scarlet Moon decided to break even more of him. So his body started to deteriorate. He started to turn like to crystals. His body was starting to go back to the Scarlet Moon, and then now he went into a vegetative state. So we get into episode 10, which as you're watching, you realize at least 2 months has passed, because in episode 9, it was summer. So they said they had another 2 months before Visual Prison starts. And Visual Prison always starts in the fall, October 31st. So they're actually, by the time it hits episode 10, they're probably a few weeks, probably they're in September or something, a few weeks away from Visual Prison. And at that time, everybody was like, what happened to Oz? They're not making any music. They didn't produce anything. Oz is on the verge of breaking up because now Guil is in a vegetative state. And once you're in a vegetative state, you're dead. It's only a matter of time before the body completely erases out of existence and they are dead. So because he broke the rules and because he lost his love, his feelings for music, that was his punishment. To deteriorate until there's nothing left of him. So now he's just sleeping, vampire style, hands over your chest and just sleeping away. And each night, Ange, for the past 2 months at that point, has been singing every night in hopes that Guil will wake up. But he's not waking up. But if you know anime, if you've been watching anime for a long time, in this case, this show is not meant to be angsty. It's not meant to get you in your feels like that. By the end of the series, we're going to have where Guil is going to wake up. And personally, I have a feeling, and I hope I'm right in this case, Guil changes, because Guil is Ange's vampire parent. He changes Ange into a full-on vampire. Because I have a feeling they're gonna use the Scarlet Tears to in a way resurrect back Guil, because back in episode 9 they did say like, we can use the Scarlet Tears if we at least get one of them to heal your wounds and all that. But Guil was kind of like, it probably may not help, but who knows? Who knows? I think the Scarlet Tears has that amount of power because it's coming directly from the Scarlet Moon, right? So not much really happened in episode 10 aside from Guil being in a vegetative state. Ange feels extremely guilty for putting Guil into that position. He's now like basically a vegetable. He's not waking up and he's about to die in any minute, any second. His body is deteriorating as we speak, and they're trying to find ways of how to wake him up. And also, another way, if the Scarlet Tears don't work, another way that could have helped Guil to wake up is to drink blood from a human. But because of the rule that's been set by Eclipse, vampires can't attack humans. They can't get no blood from them. So our only hope for Guil to wake up is through the Scarlet Tears. And Oz can perform. They can battle during the Visual Prison until all the group members are together. So that just leaves the final 2 episodes for Guil to wake up. They have to find some way to wake him up so they can enter visual prison. And I have a feeling, then again, they could leave us on a cliffhanger where we're determining on who won. But I have a feeling Oz is going to win. They're gonna pull something out of thin air to make Oz win. Okay? They're gonna pull something out of midair to make it that Guil is resurrected. He's okay. He's back at full strength. Okay? So, and then we have it by the end of episode 10 where Saga's like, he did his little song and he's like, you're not allowed to die yet. You know, he still has his whole thing. I wish, and I can't say for sure, but I hope by the end of the series, Saga and Guil can rectify their problems with each other and they can be cool, you know, because they need to squash it. They need to squash it, especially for Saga. He needs that peace of mind, and for whatever Guil did to apologize, because these two are just they're knocking heads at this point, so they need to squash it and just be at least neutral with each other. Okay, so I'm pretty excited for the final 2 episodes. Episode 11 review is going to be out tomorrow, so be ready for that. And then of course, like I said, I'm still kind of up in the air about live reaction or just regular final review for episode 12 on Friday. But do tell me in the comments section what type of video you want me to post on Friday. And yeah, that's practically it. Episode 9 really actually gave us all the most information, and episode 10 was just kind of the aftermath and just to see where things is going to lead off to for the final 2 episodes. So if you guys like my video, if you guys like what I was talking about, the review and all that stuff, hit that like, leave a comment. And I'm Kimmy Chan of Anime Legends, and I will see you guys later. Bye.